Shannon and I like to send each other updates about the Christopher Nolan Odyssey movie that's coming out because it's usually either funny or horrifying. Today, she sent me that they have announced the casting for Agamemnon and Clytemnestra. Now, I do not have strong feelings about Clytemnestra, and I'm not just saying this. I genuinely don't think I've ever seen her portrayed on screen. I'm sure it exists. I just don't have a picture that comes to my head when I think of Clytemnestra. When I think of Agamemnon, I think of the Agamemnon from the movie Troy, kind of older, rough around the edges. He fit more of what Agamemnon feels like in my head because Agamemnon is the man that I hate the second most in Greek mythology after Paris, Prince of Troy. The picture choice, I have to say, is interesting, especially because this is giving lovable dork, so I had to Google him. The man has kind eyes. You're gonna put kind eyes behind a helmet and call that the leader of the Greek army. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but what I'm saying is it doesn't work for Agamemnon. I could see him being in the movie and being, like somebody important. Agamemnon should be somebody you want to hate. This guy seems cool. Like, I don't feel that way towards him, and I don't think that I'm going to as a result of this movie. Along with the casting, Shannon sent me this screenshot that talks about how the two have filmed a scene together that is so violent that the movie is likely going to be rated R. I have a pretty good guess at what this scene is. It's not something that happens in the Odyssey. It's something that happens kind of off screen, but we hear about it. Clytemnestra had a long-standing reason to be mad at Agamemnon, and that was that on the way to the Trojan War, he pissed off Artemis by either hunting in her sacred grounds or shooting one of her sacred deers. I forget which of the two. It might be both, depending on the version. But either way, Artemis is pissed off at them, and their seer that's with them, I believe it's Calchas, tells them that in order to appease her, they have to sacrifice Agamemnon's youngest daughter, who happens to be the golden child, everybody's favorite, Iphigenia. I have a story about it somewhere on my page. In order to get Clytemnestra to bring Iphigenia there, in order for the sacrifice to happen, he tells her, hey, so I worked it out that she can get married to Achilles. And so she dresses her daughter up, she gets her all done up, they go to Aulis, and then she gets sacrificed in her wedding attire. You're thinking Artemis wanting a sacrifice of a little girl doesn't make sense? Well, there's mythology answers to that, and it's that she saved her at the last moment and replaced her with an animal. Anyways, Clytemnestra has 10 years to stew on that, plus while her husband is away at war and the journey to and from and all of that. And so she plots her revenge the entire time. She finds a new man, and she decides that if Agamemnon comes home and when he comes home, that she's gonna get hers. So at the end of the war, they distributed the women of the Trojan royal family amongst the high-ranking officers, so to speak, and he goes home with Cassandra, the prophetess who says prophecies and nobody believes, who's telling him all the while that they're not going to make it much longer once they get home. The two of them eventually get to his house, and he decides he wants a bath at some point, and that's where Clytemnestra decides that she's going to take out the both of them. So if you're reading the Aeschylus play, we hear some offstage screams about how he's been struck, and then it is revealed that she is standing over the two of them. So we don't even see it in Aeschylus because it's that dark, but yeah. This one's gonna be... I'm kind of nervous for them to portray the scene, to be honest.